This one is about scans, PET scans versus bone scans versus CT scans.
There is pros and cons to each type of imaging. In triple negative breast cancer and probably HER2 positive breast cancer, I have moved to PET scans more as my standard systemic staging. Having said that, I have very easy access to PET scans, which sometimes isn't possible in regional Queensland, and sometimes we can get just as much information if we know where the deposits of cancer are in a plain CT scan. In some ladies, so especially in hormone positive breast cancer, not all of those cancers will light up on a PET scan. So if your cancer was bright on a PET scan to start with, then yes, a PET scan might be useful down the track. If your cancer was never bright on a PET scan, then a CT and a bone scan is probably going to be a far better option and give us just as much information. And so in a lot of my ladies with hormone positive breast cancer, I will still use a CT scan and a bone scan because I find it more helpful. The settings where occasionally I will choose to use a PET scan is if I'm trying to work out whether any of the spots of cancer are active. So sometimes we get a really good response with a certain treatment and everything shrinks down. Or shrinks down to a point, and we may be left with something that looks like it may just be scarring, or it might still have active cancer there. So sometimes a PET scan is going to pull out things that are more active. A plain PET scan isn't great for looking at the brain, for instance, so usually you need to have a dedicated CT scan with it to get those quality images of the brain. But then in typical sort of ductal hormone positive breast cancer, that very rarely will ever metastasise to the brain. So I will quite often not do regular sort of CT heads included in my restaging. So sometimes a PET scan is not always the best thing. And it is a little bit, it's more radiation as well, and there's more cost associated with it. And especially if you're having to go to another city or a town to get access to it, then it may not necessarily be the best thing. And perhaps a bone scan may have actually picked up on those fractures, especially in combination with a CT.